Over the last year, I have come to you to help fight for as many Aussies as possible. And I want to thank you for being there every single time. Only because of you and your generosity, we're currently fighting dozens of cases across the country and we'll continue that campaign. However, today I need your help to fight for me. If you remember, in September of 2020, I was brutally tackled by police and arrested for doing my job, for bringing you the other side of the lockdown story here in Melbourne. Well, 10 days later, again, if you remember, thanks to your generosity, we filed a lawsuit against the police regarding that unlawful arrest and false imprisonment. A lot has happened since then, both behind the scenes concerning the initial case we filed and on the streets as I continued undeterred to do my job. Finally now, one thing has become clear. We are going to trial, and I can tell you that we have extended and expanded our case, which I'll get to in a minute, and you can read the new amended statement of claim, which was filed about 3 weeks ago at standwithavi.com. Just before we go through the entire claim, I need your assistance. Again, thank you to all of you who helped me get this far, but now that we're heading to what looks like an expected 2-week trial, I need your support urgently. The cost of this case is currently estimated at $185,000, almost $186,000, with almost $70,000 required in trust ASAP. That's a staggering amount of money, I know, but there's a reason for that. We're up against the unlimited resources of Dan Andrews and the state of Victoria, so please, after watching this video, head straight over to standwithavi.com. Read the entire amended lawsuit with all 6 of the incidents and donate what you can to ensure that I can take this till the end, because fighting this matter is more than just about what's happened to me. You don't even have to like me. It's not about those 6 incidents. This is about holding the state accountable for their overreach, forcing police to once and for all uphold the fundamental right to freedom of the press, even to journalists that are critical of their behaviour. I'll quickly go through with you all 6 of the incidents in the lawsuit, but I do encourage you to read the entire claim for yourself at standwithavi.com. The first event was 2 days after I joined Rebel News, and it kickstarted this legal action to finally put an end to the police harassing me while doing my job. I was covering the lockdown protest in Melbourne when, out of nowhere, a commander targeted and ordered his thugs to tackle, arrest, detain, and issue me with a move-on direction, which meant if I don't stop doing my job that day, I'd be charged with a criminal offence. It was quite peaceful until...
They've got us!
Like here, he's not here for any purpose of reason.
Avi, they've
Put
got
him
us!
under arrest. But this guy here is going to be placed under arrest right now. Well, I'm under arrest. I am media.
When we initially filed this lawsuit, we included my first arrest the previous Australia Day, wherein that instant, police claimed to be arresting me for my own protection.
I'm good.
I know you are.
If they're getting violent, so I'm being arrested for my own safety.
Isn't it interesting how no mainstream journalists at lockdown rallies who have at times been in a similar danger as I was that day have ever been arrested for their own safety? In fact, when mainstream media journalists have become the target of any protest, police do their jobs and protect the journalists. And that's all we're asking them to do. Protect Rebel News just as you do 9, 7, 10, SBS and ABC, even if we don't follow the establishment's script. Now for the incidents we added, starting with the very next Australia Day, which was this year in 2021. This time, it wasn't allegedly my own protection. Apparently, this time they considered my mere presence a breach of the peace because some people don't like me, which is understandable. Again, not the same treatment that the state authorised journalists have been receiving throughout COVID lockdown protests. In this case, they threw me in the back of a divvy van and dropped me in the local Jewish neighborhood, which I don't live in. I'm actually 45 minutes from my home or something like that. You just can't make this stuff up. And I'm sure you remember when I arrived at Premier Daniel Andrews' press conference in February, I was cleared by security, but suddenly detained and removed with a 7-day ban from Parliament at the request of the Premier's office. I don't have to say it, but we've never seen a mainstream media journalist treated like that.
I'm just asking if you can leave now.
No, I'm just trying to really clearly understand what the issue is here, because you've told me
Well,
that
basically,
the Premier's PA doesn't want him there. That seems to be the real issue here.
Yeah.
Moving on to the 29th of May, when I arrived at a lockdown protest and I again was stopped, held against my will for doing nothing wrong. After unlawfully detaining me for a while, the commander learnt the hard way that he was illegally holding me, yet still couldn't bring himself to simply apologise.
So can I just get that apology on camera?
Well, all I'm saying is...
Can I get that apology? Because what you just did to me and
I've given you a direction.
And
I've
can you
given
say sorry? Say one word. Say sorry.
Finally, on the 4th of June, police tried a new intimidation tactic against a news network they don't want covering public events. 3 officers came to my house at night to hand deliver a threat from the police commissioner, no less, warning me not to go to do my job the next day. Well, I went. But it's important to note in all of this, police have not charged me for any of those interactions because I was never in the wrong. And each of those incidents was a breach of my rights and enough to sue individually. But when you take them together, it's an obvious pattern. Daniel Andrews and his Victoria Police will do anything to try stop me from telling the other side of the story. As shocking as it may sound, I didn't even receive this kind of brutal treatment from police when I was reporting from the front lines of Hong Kong protests. Therefore, again, I encourage you to head over to standwithavi.com to read the entire lawsuit for yourself. The state must file and serve their amended defence, if any, by 4 p.m. on the 13th of October. Our reply, if we have one, is due by 4 p.m. on the 12th of November. Our next listing date is the 8th of December, where the court will likely set the trial date. But right now, we need to raise $169,000 or almost $170,000 to ensure that this trial happens. So please, this time I'm asking you to help me in my case, which will have implications for any media who don't toe the line in Australia. So you don't have to like me or what I stand for, but if you stand for freedom of the press and want to ensure that it's protected no matter what, please donate what you can to my legal battle at standwithavi.com.